Hey guys, it's Sean from Indonesia. I'm actually filming this outside of the vet, and I'm not sure if this episode is going to release or not. I haven't decided yet because I'm actually going to euthanize Gia here. That is actually to put her to sleep in a comfortable and cruel-free way. I know that some of you may be against the process or wondering why I would film such a horrible experience. For me personally, this is a chance for me to say goodbye to her and a lot of the viewers and a lot of my friends and family, because we did get her in New York and she lived in Shanghai. A lot of our friends used to hang out with her, so everyone got to say proper goodbye. They got to see what's going on, and I got to celebrate her life in a way. You can hear her, she's breathing very, very heavily. So that's tumor on her mouth, and it is bleeding really badly. The tumor has been growing for the last 6 months, and it is very risky and painful to remove it. So I opted not to give her surgery. But her happiness level has crashed. Day by day, she's not enjoying. She doesn't want to play as much as she used to. And she would shiver sometimes. And when it's thundering, she would go crazy. She would be so anxious. So I do not want her to be in any more pain or anxiety or even loneliness, because she really depends on me emotionally. Whenever I'm not there, even when I'm in a different room, she would get super anxious. So I really have been having the bad last few days. I've been basically hugging her because she's bleeding. So the only time that I get to hug her or play with her is on the floor. We don't have a couch in my rental home. So we would hug each other on the floor, and I would cry my eyes out. We would I would whisper to her, all her past stories. I would whisper to her about her previous caretakers, her sister, and I asked for her permission, to see if she's okay with this process. And she seemed to be listening intently, and she's very calm. And at some point, our eyes actually locked together. So yeah, I think she's ready as a caretaker of her. She's 14 and a half years old, so I've had her for 14 years. I read her sign. I just know what she's thinking a lot of the times. So I think she's ready, and I'm ready. Thankfully, we've got another week because the vet is actually closed for a few days over Lebaran holidays. And also I wanted a date where my mom and my sister is present here in Jakarta, because my sister's actually flown back here for like a month. And my sister's seen her since she was a puppy. So my sister saw her progress over the years, and we get this chance to say goodbye to her properly. So I'm going to spend the next few days just feeding her like crazy. I'm going to give her all the treats, give her everything that I have. And then I may even put aside my business for a while and just focus on her. Yeah, I'm gonna say proper goodbyes, and I feel a little bit grateful that I have this opportunity to say goodbye, because I did not have this luxury with my first girl, her sister, who passed away I think 7 or 8 months ago. She died very violently. She died in a lot of pain, and I did not get to say goodbye to her. She passed away in the middle of the night in a vet. So I am happy and thankful to have this journey with her, to be able to say proper goodbye and to relieve her of any pain and suffering. So yeah, I'm gonna give you a close-up view. So I guess I have decided I may actually release this video after all. I do want you guys to see the process. It may be a bit sad. I don't know how much of it I will actually film, but the thing is, like with Instagram or social media, we always see happy puppy pictures, just happy dogs, happy, whatever. And a lot of times people don't see that at the end of the life there is pain and suffering, and it can be a beautiful thing. I think everybody needs to go through this process at least once, to have a dog since they were young and have them grow old in your care. It is very, very humbling, and I'm forever grateful for Gia for teaching me so much, for giving me so much love and loyalty and companionship. So yeah, I wanted to show this side of dog ownership, and I don't mean this to be negative in any way. There is beauty in death. There's beauty in saying goodbye. It's a process that we all have to go through. So I will try to do this gracefully, and I'll try to tell my story And I hope that you guys will, if you've met her before, will remember her in your hearts. And again, yeah, I guess I will turn this camera off. I'm now sweating like crazy here. She's going wee-wee right now. Actually, this is her toilet, also my garden. I'm taking her out for a night walk. She usually goes number 2 around this time. So the gardener walks her twice a day, once in the morning and once in the evening, and I walk her once a day at night. She's actually very, very energetic normally, so she has a lot of pent-up energy, and somehow at night she would prance around up and down the stairs because I can hear her all night. She's looking for me, waiting for me. She's anxious being alone. She did not like that I'm in my bedroom and that she's outside. Sometimes she would cry or wail in the middle of the night, maybe from a bad dream, or maybe she woke up and found herself alone and scared and terrified. So she's not doing well mentally. Physically, she's doing too well. She's too active. And yeah, I actually do spend a lot of time walking her, and oftentimes these night walks make me think that I'm really wasting my time. Like, I'm actually swamped with work. I have a lot of deadlines, a lot of projects, and I often feel like I want to make a difference in this world. I want to build people up. I want to build my business. I want to build other people's businesses. And dogs just aren't for me. It's, again, my biggest regret, but it is a relief for me tonight, because now I know that there's a deadline. I know that she's gone in 9 days and I will miss her so much. And these walks, I will never forget these walks that I have with her, these moments that we share, this bond. For dogs, when you walk them, it's a really, really strong bonding time for them. It's not just a walk with them. It's them protecting you, exploring the world with you. It is their whole world, basically. Look at this neighbor's home. So I live like a few homes down that way, and I really don't understand the architecture in this one. Someone really had a lot of money and way too much imagination. So yeah, and the door looks funny. There's a little door, I think it's for like a little dog or something, the one that's right in the center of the screen. So this house looks really, really off to me, off-putting. Anyways, I digress. So yeah, I'm just walking her and I'm documenting this so that, you know, maybe in 10 years time and I'm watching this video, I can remember these walks that I have with her. So this video is also a sort of a memory bank that I have with her. And this is also my neighborhood. I just want to quickly show it because I'm going to be moving in 2 months. I have moved a lot my whole life, and sometimes I forget the places, and it's nice to document it. This is also why I'm a photographer and I like taking videos. One of the reasons is because I'm terrible with memory. I don't remember things. I don't remember details. I'm someone who is better at designing and envisioning the future than remembering the past. I have the worst memory ever. So this is a good documentary for me. And thank you again for watching and coming along with me on this journey. And I know it's just a walk, but we've only got 8 more of these walks. And sometimes if it rains, we don't get to walk. So maybe a little bit less than 8. I love you, Gia. Yeah. You wanna say hi? Her eyes are shining red in flashlight. Yeah. Hey, baby, I'm gonna miss you. I'm gonna miss you. Hey, baby Binky. Binky. Eh? Jimmy. Yeah. I have these gibberish talks with Gia. I call her Binky and Jimmy. I don't know what kind of language that is, but I've been calling her that. And I would call her Pia, Leah, Mia, basically anything that has an IA at the end of the alphabet, just to tease her. But she always responds no matter what I call her. So yeah, I mean, you can also tell from the way that she's walking. I mean, if you've known her in her youth, you'll know she's full of energy. She is a bundle of energy. And to see her slow down like this, you know, it's a telltale sign that I think her body is starting to shut down a little bit, slowing down, and she's starting to enjoy things a little bit less than before. And sometimes she shivers on her own, and when I hold her, she sometimes will gasp in pain or discomfort. I've held her for 14 years, so in the same exact position, but now she's becoming uncomfortable to my touch, and I just don't know what to do with her anymore. I don't think she's enjoying life. She hasn't been for a while. But yeah, you know I love you, right, Gia? And I want you to stop feeling these pain, these anxieties, these loneliness, discomfort. I'm walking by this part of the neighborhood that smells really, really good. There's a tree over there, and it's in the Apocynaceae, I don't know how to pronounce it, Apocynaceae family, which is in the same family as the Hoya, but it's actually a full-grown tree, and the blooms smell like Hoya, and you can smell it all the way from here, so it's amazing. And I just want to quickly talk about Gia, I guess. She's a fun and very loving creature. She was always ready to party, she was always ready to pounce on you, hump your leg, play with you, full of energy. And I don't know what else to say about her. She's very adorable. She's got this adorable face, and her skin is super soft. She's got a short fur, and she's a little bit variegated, if you know what that is in the plant world. It means that she has all these white spots on her body that shouldn't be there. It's a random, not mutation, it's a random, I don't know what the word is, but not a lot of Dachshunds, because she's a mini Dachshund, not a lot of mini Dachshunds have them. So it is considered maybe a defect even. So yeah, stop and say hello. Hello, Gia. Hi. Do you know you're on camera? Say hello to people. She's aged so much. Her face really aged a lot in the last year, because she was always baby faced her whole life. So ever since we moved here, again, it's probably her age. She's 14 and a half years old, a little bit more than that. And for a dog, every month is a long time. Ooh, I'm gonna lose you for the traffic noise behind me, but that is the main road behind me. You know what, I'm actually walk this way so I can keep talking. But yeah, she's very old, and her health declined very quickly. If you drew on a chart, it would be a curve facing down. That's how fast her health has been declining. So these days I feel, day by day, that she's becoming less fiery. She has no fire in her eyes anymore, and she gets tired easily, and she doesn't respond as well. But other than that, she's a very patient, kind, and forgiving dog. Of course, when I say forgiving, that's because I actually have made a few mistakes before. I've left her for too long sometimes, or I was not attentive enough at times. And there were actually times where I yelled at her. So one time she actually ran away from home because I can't remember what it was for. Right? It was right here in this community. She actually ran from my home to the studio, because we have rented 2 homes in this neighborhood. So one is for work and one is for me to live. So she ran over there, and some of the staff there took her in. I was really, I don't know, it was both of our fault. She was being feisty. So Dachshunds are actually very, very stubborn. They're more stubborn than they are smart. They're one of the most stubborn breeds. That's why you rarely see them in dog shows. So yeah, that's her in a nutshell. She's reckless, but she's also very kind and loving, and she's friendly to everybody. She's never been hostile to anyone. So I'm really grateful to her, and she's scared around other dogs. So she liked to be around people. If there are dogs coming her way, she would run to me. She would seek out protection from me, and that's really adorable. Maybe because she's been bitten before by other dogs. So that's my Gia in a nutshell. I'm really gonna miss you, aren't I? I say hi bye. We're gonna turn off the camera soon, but let's say hi one more time. Say bye bye. Say good night. Say good night, Gia. She used to look at the camera a lot more and look at people a lot more. These days she doesn't look into my eyes anymore. She doesn't look at people when they talk to her anymore. So I guess, I don't know, maybe that is a sign of maybe loss of sight, or I don't know. She's not all there anymore, if you know what I mean. I'm gonna turn this off, and I'm gonna enjoy the rest of my walk. Bye. Morning, dear. Good morning. Everything's eerily quiet today. Usually she wakes up whenever I come down the stairs and greets me very, very enthusiastically, if that's a word. But she's a little bit down today and she looks to be in pain, I think. But yeah, she's got 2 more hours, so I'm gonna get breakfast. I'm gonna walk her one more time. I'm gonna take care of her personal belongings and then head over to my parents' place. Yeah, and sorry about this mess. This is basically all of my used jars and such that I'm going to upcycle for my plants. And this is her chair. Look at how messed up it is. But yeah, I don't think she'll have more pain to endure after this. Taking her out for one last walk. She's got about an hour and a half until her appointment. And I had a really strange night last night. See that thing on my head? I hit my head on the edge of a drawer because I was getting ready for her bed. I was trying to sleep with her last night because we haven't slept with each other in so long. My sheets are always white in color, and as she got older, her and Josie, they both started getting skid marks all over, so we couldn't. Yeah, come on, we gotta go. Come on, let's walk. So we haven't really slept together. And yesterday I was preparing sheets, and yeah, I banged my head, and it got really bad. It was bleeding, and there was an open wound. So I went to the hospital at midnight to take care of things. So my last night with Gia didn't go so well, and I did try to sleep with her last night. I had her in my arms. She fell asleep very quickly. So with her, she would always fall asleep really fast in my arms. And whenever she's not in my arms, she would be totally in anxiety mode. There's another dog trying to greet her. She'd be very anxious if she's not in my arms, so she'll be prancing around all night long, up and down the stairs. Sometimes she would cry, which is also one of the reasons why I need to let her go, is because she's so anxious, she's so scared and terrified whenever I'm not with her. And it's very cruel because I can't be with her all the time. So yeah, I had her in my arms last night. She fell asleep, she was snoring within 5 minutes. But I was just there tossing and turning for about 3 hours. Finally, I decided I couldn't do it. I had to kick her out. So I gently got her out of bed, and then I closed the door, turned on the AC, went under my blanket, and slept like a baby. But it wasn't enough sleep. I only slept for like 4 hours. So yeah, that was my fiasco. I had the worst night ever, but the show must go on. So yeah, I'll be taking her to my parents' place soon after this one last round. Oh, and last night I walked with her. We normally walk one round around the complex and she would get tired, she would want to go home. But yesterday as we walked, I told her, you know, take it all in. Take it all in because these are all memories and this is gonna be her last walk. And I think she understood because she walked. I'm gonna turn around because there's traffic behind me. Because she actually walked 2 rounds with me yesterday. She was not complaining. She was just calm and composed. She wasn't panting. So it was a really interesting night last night. And I think she did know what's going on. As you can see this morning, she was very, very quiet. She was very at peace. So yeah, looking at her, I think she's ready. Are you ready? Yeah. I'm gonna turn the camera off and focus on my last walk with her and enjoying this neighborhood, because without her I would not be walking around the neighborhood at all. I'm usually very busy. So we're almost at my dad's place, and this is where my dogs spent most of their life in, probably about 7 years here. And she's been breathing really hard all the way here, kind of out of breath. I don't know what's going on. But they used to walk here every day. This is their little walking path. And yeah, I'm going to be showing her around the home. Actually, before I got here, she was licking me like crazy. It's actually her way of playing with me, like interacting. She would just lick my thigh and hump my calves. If that makes sense. See, I'm going to insert some clips on the screen. When she was younger, she would actually hump for about 15 to 20 minutes, pretty vigorously. But then in the last few months, her time has decreased. it's been down to like 30 seconds even. But today, I think she knew it was gonna be her last. So she was humping me really hard for a really long time on the floor. And I was talking to her a little bit when I was getting ready, telling her that to say goodbye, to get ready, and she's ready, she's calm, and I think she knows what's going on. Her eyes met mine a few times. So yeah, there's the house. And yeah, I'm gonna show her some of her old rooms and things like that, and let her say proper goodbye, I guess. You remember this? Come here. There. You remember this room? Can you smell it? She's probably very nostalgic now, maybe confused. Yeah, this is where she slept for a good 7 or 8 years of her life. Come on, Gia. Let's go. Come on. I think memory is flooding back here. She hasn't been back here in a few months. We rarely come back here. You wanna go, baby? Good girl. Good girl. So I think one of these is her final resting place. That's Josie. Josie's over there. Let's go say hello, Gia. Come on. What a view, right? What a way to go. So Josie is somewhere in the middle, right on that patch of land. That's where she is. So I'm thinking either to bury her here or in the next tree over there, so they can look over the house for the next owners of the house. They can protect them. So we're preparing the final resting ground for Gia, and this is her view here. Very peaceful. Look at all these plants. They've grown so much. We had a video on this one, remember? Mine is still tiny, but I gave the top cutting back to my parents, and they're flourishing now. This is where you sleep? Come here. Come here, dear. Come here. Hey. So we're just waiting for the doctor to get here. We don't know what time he'll be here exactly. Should be soon. Anytime now. I don't know if it's bad luck to let them see their own final resting ground, but I do want her to feel the peace and calm and quiet. Right, Gia? Don't you love it here? Hmm? She's been weird ever since we got here. She's been energetic, but I can't read what she's thinking. She's definitely in her zone. Come on. Come on. There's actually a lot of memories here. She used to wander around. She would walk back and forth this little broadwalk area, and that's my dad's fish pond here. She would often come to see him here, and that's my plant studio back there in the past. Let's quickly see what it looks like now. It's where I spent a lot of time, and she would always come in here and bother me. Yeah, it's super clear now, as you can see. But she used to wander around here with her sister. Do you remember all this? Yeah. Do you remember? My old bedroom here. A lot has changed. Do you remember it? Hey? Do you remember the bedroom? She wouldn't even go explore. She's just clinging on to me. We're gonna go get my mom and my sister. Alright, so the doctor's here. I think we hear the doorbell ring. I guess this is a final goodbye to everyone. Say bye-bye.
Testicle.
What testicle?
Her lip looks like a testicle.
Yeah, her lip looked like a testicle. So my brother and sister is kind of against filming. I was unsure if I should film the process, but I guess I wouldn't. It was a little bit insensitive. So this is a final goodbye. Bye, guys. It's actually 2 weeks since the last clip. I'm actually sitting on her chair here. It's clean for the first time because it was covered in blood for like a whole year. And it was a very sad moment to let her go. She was ready and she just laid there on the table. We put a little bit of a pillow for her to be comfortable on. And then the doctors basically put a needle in her. She was uncomfortable at first and we were really worried about that. We were really uncomfortable seeing that. But, you know, after she settled down, after she got a little bit more comfortable and relaxed, the doctor looked at me in the eye and asked if I was sure. And I said, yeah, we were gonna go ahead with it. So they administered the euthanasia and she was gone in 5 to 10 seconds. She went so peacefully. I didn't, you know, I can see, because the whole time I was looking at her eyes never closed. Again, for a doctor that are put to sleep, their eyes just basically remain open. But I saw the life drain out of her. I was the last thing she saw before she left the world. And we buried her on the plot of land that we prepared. My mom was kind enough to prepare some flower petals that we, you know, dispersed over her grave, and we did some for my other dog as well, for Josie. And my brother found a golf ball and he just put it there. My brother is a goofball that way, but yeah. So that's done, and life has been drastically different since then. For the first few days, I was actually not used to being alone. I was just, you know, when I'm working on my desk, I would turn around, I would look, because normally Gia would be so needy that I would be checking on her often, every 15 minutes or so. And now when I look back and then I'm looking at this chair that I'm sitting on now to check in on her, there's nothing there. So that was a little bit strange, but I got over it after a few days. And, you know, usually during work, because I work long hours by the computer, I would take some break. I would lie on the floor, I would cuddle and play with Gia. And these days, because I don't have a couch here, so I don't really have I don't have an excuse to stop and rest. So sometimes I would just lay on the floor kind of by myself, replying messages, replying YouTube comments and things like that during my break. But I'm also happy in a way because these days I'm able to do a lot more work. I got to be more productive. And I could leave the house whenever I wanted to. I could go to the supermarket after dinner. I could go to the gym at night, and I can make appointments with friends. Finally, you know, again, in the first 2 days, actually, after she was gone, I actually asked my gardener if he could do overtime because I was planning to go out. And then I realized, hang on, wait, I did not have to do that anymore. It's just a force of habit, you know? And yeah, that's gone. I mean, it was a weird transition, but I got my freedom and now I can pretty much set out to do what I want to do. And that's a good feeling as well. So she will be forever in my memory. She's a very good lesson that I needed. And, you know, I hope that you guys are remembering her in very good light. I actually feel very grateful and I feel lucky to have this platform to remember her by, because again, I have really, really bad memory. So I don't remember the thing. I have a really huge photo album. I'm an avid taker of photography and video, so that I can look back and remember some of the things that are happening in my life. And this video will also, of course, be something that I would watch maybe in 5, 10, 20 years down the road and just remember her good soul. And I guess that's all. I guess I hope that you guys have, you know, learned something from this, and that this video has given us an opportunity to say goodbye to her and properly commemorate her life. And yeah, sorry, this is longer than I intended to be, so I'm just gonna end it here. Thank you so much, and I hope that you guys are doing well. And if you have your doggies or pets with you, give them a hug. And that's it. Bye-bye.